Mostly cloudy day, but for the time being, it is a dry afternoon in Cincinnati, and that's good news after all the rain we had earlier this morning. The final home game for this 2011 year. Brandon Phillips, fan-friendly every day. Today, no different. Reds wrapping it up, trying to win this series after getting the victory in Game 2 over the Houston Astros last night. And hi again, everybody, alongside Chris Welsh. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds Baseball. And Chris, I'm not going to say it felt like yesterday because it has been 6 months ago, but it is hard to believe seemingly every year when you get down to this last home game.
Well, you know, Tom, I know that at the very beginning of the year, people had high expectations for this ball club, and I know that there are probably a lot of disappointed Reds fans out there that they may have underachieved. They had a rash of injuries. They didn't play and win those tight ball games, but I think you should be a long way from being dejected about this ball team because they've got a lot of young players. I still think that overall they're going to be on the upswing. So you got to look at the bright side of things, I think, as we end to the end of the season here at Great American Ballpark. The fans here have been great. The staff here at Great American Ballpark is a great place to watch a game, to work. And I'm just lucky to say it's another season under our belt, and really had a great time with you up here this year.
Absolutely, my man. And, you know, one person we want to single out today, 41 years. She has worked for the Cincinnati Reds, works with us on the broadcast side with the organization, Jenny Camp. Today she says goodbye to the Reds organization. 41 years for that lovely lady. And anybody who's ever been around her, spent 5 minutes with her, you can't help but walk away with a smile on your face. God bless you, Jenny, and go have a good time with your family. First pitch right around the corner. In his 2011 schedule, the Reds and the Houston Astros, and it's Jordan Schaefer digging in against Bronson Arroyo. Breaking ball, first pitch swinging. It's lifted into center field. 1 pitch and 1 out. Take a look at the Astros batting order. Schaefer to be followed by J.B. Shuck. J.D. Martinez has had a nice series in left. Carlos Lee at first. Matt Downs at second. Chris Johnson down at third. A latter third of Clint Barmas. J.R. Tolles catching Wandy Rodriguez. In there, strike to J.B. Shuck. Told you the young man born in Westerville, Ohio, and played collegiately for the Ohio State Buckeyes. In the air, short left field. Sapelt on to get it, and just like that, Bronson Arroyo's thrown 3 pitches now to get 2 outs. The Reds defensively, presented by Ford. Sapelt a good night last night. He's in left. Chris Heisey in center. Jay Bruce in right. Cairo, Renteria, Phillips, and Votto along the infield, and Devin Mesoraco working with Bronson Arroyo. Straightaway center field off the bat of J.D. Martinez, and a 4-pitch opening inning for Bronson Arroyo. Boy, he'll take that all day, every day. Bottom of the first coming up.
Reds Baseball is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time.
We had a lot of rain earlier this morning. It stopped for the time being. How much longer? Let's check in with John Gum.
Last home game of the season at a Great American Ballpark, and we're going to be dodging some raindrops, unfortunately, this afternoon with the chance for showers and storms during the game. Can't rule out some delays. Temperatures going from the upper 60s into the low 70s. Enjoy the game right here on Fox Sports Ohio.
All right, John, thanks so much. Hopefully, Mother Nature will cooperate this final game of the home schedule today. Let's take a look at the Reds starting lineup under manager Dusty Baker. One is 1,480th game last night. Brandon Phillips, Edgar Renteria, Joey Votto, Chris Heisey in center batting cleanup, Jay Bruce in right, Miguel Cairo at third, and a latter third of Sapelt, Mesoraco, and Arroyo against the most consistent Astros starting pitcher over the last 3 years, left-hander Wandy Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's been a starter for the Astros for 7 years, actually, hovering right around 500 career-wise. He's got 73 wins against 74 losses. Very good earned run average this year, around 3.5. A guy that really, because the Astros have underachieved overall as a team, does not have the kind of win total that you would figure he would. Good pitcher. Fastball, big overhand curveball, and a nice changeup.
Brandon at 294, 18 home runs, 6 of the 18 have been hit on this homestand. He had 4 in the Cubs series. and has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. One to Brandon, and he pulled the string on him there with a changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. When you talk about those numbers that Wandy Rodriguez has put up during his career, had he pitched for a team that had been more competitive. Of course, when he first came to the big leagues, the Astros had some good teams. The times have been lean the last number of years. Phillips has an infield hit. Errant throw made by Matt Downs, but it did stay in the field of play, so it's an infield hit.
And somewhat of a rare hit for Brandon Phillips against Wandy Rodriguez. You know, the Reds have faced Rodriguez an awful lot. That's the 43rd at bat that Brandon has had against Wandy, and batting right around 214. He'll add to that with a little base hit up the middle.
Renteria at 253, 5 home runs and 35 runs batted in. Phillips 11 steals. He's been thrown out 8 times, and Renteria pops up the pitch to the second baseman Downs, and that's out number 1. Let's take a look at Houston. Defensively, presented by Ford. Schaefer in center, playing by Martinez and Shuck. Chris Johnson and Carlos Lee on the corners. Clint Barmas and Matt Downs up the middle. The battery of Rodriguez and J.R. Toll.
Well, the batters in the Reds lineup, the number 2 guy, Edgar Renteria, and Joey Votto, really the only ones in this lineup that have seen Wandy Rodriguez a lot and have had a measure of success against him. Joey Votto has not hit a home run, and there goes Brandon. That's what the scouting report will tell you about Wandy. Big high leg lift. He has now given up 20 stolen bases on the year. Astro catchers have only thrown out 3, so that's one of the bugaboos about Wandy. And pitching in a tight ball game, he's always susceptible to the stolen base.
On the outside corner, 1-1 to Votto, and here are the numbers that Chris was talking about. Votto against Wandy Rodriguez. Very good. Without a home run, as Chris was starting to say. Nonetheless, a .351 batter. Base hit right here, and you jump in front. Good looking curveball there to get ahead. Started 2 and he went around. Only 1 hit in this series for Votto. So 2 are out in the inning, and Chris Heisey will have a chance to get home the game's first run.
Curveball followed by a high cut fastball right there. Joey Votto could not hang back. You know, we talked about Votto the last couple of days, and you know, you think because the guy won the MVP last year and he's been penciled in just about every day this year in the lineup that he's impervious to being tired or fatigued, but that looks just a little bit slow right now. 2 home runs away from 30 on the year. Needs a couple runs batted in to get to 100. Those are milestones that he would really like to have. And of course, when you get on the road to Pittsburgh, ball doesn't carry all as well as it does here, and in New York even less so. So he'd love to be able to get a bomb here this afternoon before getting out of town.
Today, the 153rd start of the year for Votto. And of course, the Reds still have 6 games remaining.
It's an Iron Man there.
Are you talking about conceivably, and there's no reason to believe he's going to get a day off between now and when the season is over?
Not happy right now. You know, I feel that he probably feels that he gave away that at bat. And he hates giving away at bats, probably more than anything.
Brandon led off the inning with an infield hit, stole a base. He is standing there with 2 out. And Wandy Rodriguez ahead of Chris Heisey at 1 ball 2 strikes. Breaking ball fisted into shallow center. And it's going to fall in a base hit. So a little bleeder by Heisey, but plenty good enough to put the Reds in front 1-0.
Set up by the stolen base. You don't score from first on this bloop. A little bit breaking ball kind of got out on the end of the bat. It looked like for Chris Heisey. Maybe inside on him. It doesn't make any difference. A little bloop to center field. Easy trot around third base for Brandon, and the Reds have put one on the board here in the first inning.
So now Jay Bruce, 31 home runs. He had 2 RBIs in the game last night, along with a total of 3 base hits. He now has 94 batted in. Ball 1.
Well, Dusty dropped Jay Bruce down 1 in the order. He's not tonight, or this afternoon that is, against the left-hander Rodriguez batting in the number 4 spot, the way he has for the last few weeks. And other than the fact that you're facing a left-hander, you see what Jay Bruce has done with runners on and runners not on base, but really against Wandy Rodriguez, he has really struggled. He is 1 for 23 with 13 punch-outs. So Wandy's figured out a way to figure out Jay Bruce.
Fly ball short left field, and Martinez in a few paces, and that'll end the inning. But the Reds get a couple of hits, score a run, and lead at the end of 1-0. Brought to you by Elk & Elk Serious Lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Well, we wrap it up at home and we go inside some of the numbers. Anything stand out for you there, Mr. Welsh?
1-run games, I think, overall. We don't show it right there, but that was a big problem with the Reds this year. The other problem, Tom, was the pace that they set in the interleague play. I think they were 8 games under 500 in interleague play, and, yeah, you know, those are the games that count, just like any other ones do. Joey Votto had a very comparable year this year to last year. Some people will say he had a better year this year. Big thing, the other big thing that sticks out to you this year is starting pitching. And if you just look at the teams that are getting to the playoffs against those teams that are not, starting pitching is oftentimes the separator.
4 up and 4 down for Bronson Arroyo, and has needed a grand total of 6 pitches to do it against Lee to begin this second inning. And here comes Matt Downs.
Bronson really has nothing to prove to himself or to Reds fans based on what he did last year, but I think that he wants to finish strong. The fact that he's had a subpar year this year has really bothered him. Velocity's down a little bit. He's given up a lot of home runs. Of course, he set the Reds record for home runs given up.
Arroyo 4 home runs allowed, shy of tying the National League record held by Jose Lima, then pitching with the Astros in 2000, gave up 48. Major League record held by Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, gave up 50 home runs. And Arroyo said, look, I've done the math. There's a liner in the left field, 2 out. He said, I could have given up 100 home runs this year if all of them were solo and they were the only runs I allowed. He said my ERA would be 2.7 on the year. The thing that bothers him is the earned run average over 5. Of course, home runs play into that.
Well, they do play into it. And I think the other thing for Bronson Arroyo is that when he has problems, it's against lineups that are loaded up with left-handers. And that is not the case here today against the Astros. But, you know, for those teams that can load up with lefties against Bronson, it is not a good matchup. And he's going to have to go back to the drawing board to figure out how to get those left-handers out going into 2012. That's what I'm talking about right here. Lefty batting average and home runs.
On the ground, only 1 pitch out of the strike zone through 2 innings. 12 pitches to get 6 outs.
Of the Cincinnati Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Bottom of the second inning we go. The Reds leading 1-0. Strike 1 to Miguel Cairo. Light rain beginning to fall. Lights have been turned on at Great American Ballpark, and you know, just like you, we're going to keep our fingers crossed. That family right there, they're fired up. Looks like the kids are getting a day off school for this home finale today.
Miguel
to deep left field, puts the Reds in front 2-0. That's into the upper tank.
This guy's solid. He is really solid. He filled in last year when Joey Votto was out for a while with a sore neck. He filled in this year an awful lot at third base to pick up for Scott Roller.
Miguel in that dugout, he's safe and secure.
New York life.
Career high in home runs for Miguel Cairo, 8 of them. Chappelle first pitch swinging, lifts it down the right field line and Shuck over to get it.
Of course, Miguel Cairo, a 14-year veteran in the major leagues. First time he's ever had a multi-year contract. Reds awarded him one of those this year. They'll cover him through the 2012 season. Class guy.
No doubt about it. You know, he'll show up ready to play in Arizona.
He'd show up ready to play at the Arizona Fall League if you asked him to go there.
Right. I wonder if he still plays a little winter ball. You know, a lot of the Latin players, doesn't matter if they've been in the big leagues or they're the biggest of stars. I mean, heck, Manny Ramirez would come back among others, guys like that, and play, and David Ortiz.
I don't think he does. I think Miguel now spends the winter in the Tampa Bay area.
I think, yeah, I thought he was in Florida. But that doesn't negate the possibility they could live in America, but they could go back to their native land and go back and play for their country once you got into the Caribbean World Series, things like that. Such a great attitude. There's so many of these young Reds players that, well, if they haven't had the chance or taken the chance more accurately to, you know, pick Miguel Cairo's brain a little bit while they've been up here in the month of September, they've missed out on a prime chance to learn a lot about this game and how you go about getting ready to play this game every day. Hit hard by Mesoraco, and a nice play by Martinez. So he's had a pretty impressive series, Martinez.
Well, he has swung the bat extremely well. First time we've seen him make a nice play in the field. Ball hooking away from him on that right-handed swing by Mesoraco, and he just ran it right on down. Middle of the order hitter getting a shot at it, and he looks good. He might be a keeper.
On the ground down to Johnson. You watch that young man when he was just a little boy. May have missed it last night. We'll talk about that when we return.
To Frazier, wherever Frazier is. I was using his bat tonight, so all my credit goes to Frazier's bat.
3 hits in the game last night for Homer, and talking about using his buddy Todd Frazier's bat to get those 3 hits. Of course, Bailey also on the mound, went 7 strong innings, allowed only 2 runs, getting his 9th win of the year. So he'll have one more chance, Chris, to get into double digits in the win column.
Well, I think it's important for Homer to finish strong. He has pitched very well against the Astros so far. He'll get one more shot before the end of the year. That will be in New York.
Ladder third in the batting order, 7-8-9. Arroyo's retired the first 6. He has only thrown one of his 14 pitches for a ball. In the air towards Dave Sapelt, and Barmer set down to start the Houston third inning. When we talk about Arizona, why not join the Reds out in Goodyear for 2012 spring training? And new this year, the Reds spring training package, which includes an exclusive meet and greet with Reds personnel, custom Reds merchandise, great seats to watch the Reds, and so much more. For information, visit reds.com/spring travel today. Strike one to J.R. Tolles. Charging is Cairo. Perfect throw. Well, tonight's Powerball jackpot already up to $25 million. That's brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Why not play today? Drawing at 11 o'clock tonight. Wandy Rodriguez with 2 outs and nobody on. A ball and a strike on Rodriguez. Reds an off day tomorrow. Travel day for the team. Frisch will be flying into Pittsburgh, PA.
Yeah.
Wonder what the mood will be like back there. You know, with Clint Hurdle is always so upbeat and so positive. That team in the third week of July, they were sitting atop the National League Central.
Well, they ran out of pitching.
Won 19 games ever since then.
Well, you know, Tom, a lot of people that looked at that staff and they simply digested the whole thing based on innings pitched. A lot of those pitchers were going to reach the maximum innings they'd ever thrown in the major league sometime this year. And I think they just wore themselves out. But they made light years leaps from last year to this year.
Chance here today, and Barbara Ream from Lebanon, Ohio would win the beautiful new Tundra. Barbara, we are rooting for you. Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers gave away a Tundra over the weekend to a local police department, a fire department last year. But we're still waiting to give one to a fan. Reds lead 1-0. Skies have brightened a little bit from just a few minutes ago. For the time being anyway, the rain has stopped. The comment was made earlier today. We started this season with record-setting rainfall in the history of the city of Cincinnati. The rainiest April ever. The second rainiest May ever. We had a great summertime, yet here we are in the fall. I guess fall technically starts on Friday, but here we are approaching the fall, and it feels a lot like April.
It does indeed.
So we start the year in the rain and we end the year in the rain. Brandon Phillips had an infield hit, stole a base, and scored on a Chris Heisey 2-out single in the first inning. Straight up for Jordan Schaefer. One away in the inning. Well, if you're hitting the road and you're thinking about not wanting to miss the last 6 games of the year, you can subscribe to MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Renteria popped up to the second baseman Matt Downs in the first inning. 0-2 on Edgar Renteria. And this one lined off the glove of Downs, who knocks it down, waits on Lee to get to the bag, and still got the out. Lee, like everybody else, thought Downs was going to catch that ball. And then when he didn't, he had to scramble to the bag.
And of course, for Edgar, he's going to see Downs come down with the ball. He's going to kind of hesitate a little bit out of the batter's box. Say, well, that's a line drive. Guy made a nice catch. And then he drops it, and he's going to pick it up again. And as it turns out, bang, bang at first base. He thought he was safe.
Joey Votto struck out his first time up. That breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Started 2 and then laid off the breaking ball again. 3-1 to Joey Votto. Knocked down again by Downs. A little more time this time, and that will retire the side in 1-2-3 fashion. We've played 3 where the Reds lead the Astros 2-0.
around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt. In theaters September 23rd. Rated PG-13.
Bronson Arroyo, through 3 innings, has not allowed a single base runner. But the Astros have a top of the order coming up. And now a slight delay in play. Not sure what this is all about.
Well, Doug Gallen is the grounds crew chief at Great American Ballpark. I don't know if there's something going on. You know what's happened? That there are emergency lights going on and a siren going on in the stadium. And either a fire alarm or some kind of alarm has been tripped. And maybe the lights that are blinking in the batter's eye area are distracting to the hitter. You see them blinking up here around this area.
Yeah, and then straight away center field as a hitter is looking out there. There's one above the bullpen. There's one. Well, they're all over the place. Looks like flashing light bulbs. Well, it gives us a chance to bring you our AT&T trivia question, where, Chris, you have been on quite a roll here getting near the end of the year. And how about it today?
All right, the last one here at Great American Ballpark for the year. What 4 teams has Francisco Cordero recorded 20-plus saves against? Good question. Now, remember Cordero, remember the Reds, remember the Milwaukee Brewers, remember the Texas Rangers.
You know, and I don't know the answer. I mean, logic would dictate when you have spent as much of your career as Cordero has inside the Central Division of the National League.
As a closer.
As a closer. That all 3 of the teams would be in the Central Division. There's a chance that it could be, say, an American League West team. But I would assume one of them would be these Houston Astros. Generally, that's why we asked the question. He got another one here last night. It's a very good question. You ask yourself, all right, who have the Reds played very well against? I'll tell you one team they have owned up until this past weekend during Cordero's run here. The Milwaukee Brewers.
Uh-huh. But remember that he played for the Brewers for several years,
yes,
so you take away those. So I would have to say Astros, Pirates, Cubbies. Just as a guess.
Great guess. I'm going to say the Brewers are on this list.
All right, let's find out the answer.
You called it, big boy. 4 of them.
How about that? I didn't get the 4. The Mariners, I would never know
said
that.
American League West team.
Good question. And congratulations to Francisco Cordero. Nailed down another one last night. Think he'll be back?
What do you think?
I don't know. What do you think?
We talked a little bit about it last night. The free agent market out there, as you get a little older, teams become obviously more reluctant to start handing out big money long-term deals.
Yeah.
Cordero is going to be older than the other crop of free agent closers that are going to be on the market.
He's 35 now.
But I still think there's a lot of good baseball left in Cordero. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
And it would not surprise me a little bit if it went either way. And I'm not dodging your question. I just don't think that when you try to take all things into consideration, do I think the Reds will attempt to bring him back? Yes. Do I think they have a price that they're not going to go over? No doubt in my mind. Will he make the same money with the Reds next year that he's making this year? No. But if you're not going to pay him as much on a 1-year deal, maybe you get him 2.
Good answer.
And I don't understand why Reds fans would be upset if the Reds did bring him back.
I don't think it would be.
Any closer is always sort of the lightning rod of a franchise, especially when you'll have a week here or a week there. And really, it's only been one bad week this entire year for Cordero. But it was an important week. The week before the All-Star break, when they were playing St. Louis and playing Milwaukee. This guy's been mighty good as a Red. And you always have to ask yourself the question, if it's not him, then who takes his job? What do you think?
I think you said a lot of intelligent things there, and I agree with all of them. You know, the only thing I think that Francisco Cordero has to mull over is the possibility of going free agent and maybe making more money outside of the Reds. And so then he balances it out. I mean, he's made a lot of money in his career. Just coming right now off a 4-year deal that pays him close to $50 million. So it's not like he needs money to make his mortgage payment. So, you know, he's comfortable here in Cincinnati. His family likes it here. He's been very generous to the Reds Community Fund and the community. And I think there's a certain comfort level that you reach when you're a veteran player that you're like, well, how much better can it get somewhere else for a little bit more money?
And then you always ask yourself the question, too, when you're a veteran like Cordero, who's never had a chance to pitch in a World Series. That'll be an error, undoubtedly, on Renteria. But, you know, you ask yourself the question, Chris, like a lot of veteran players do. I want to play in a World Series. I want to have one final shot to win a ring. And when you start looking around at the quote-unquote competitive teams and throw in big money teams and what their desire may be for a closer. Yankees don't need one. Boston doesn't need one. Detroit doesn't need one. You look in the National League East. Philadelphia probably will need one. There's a double play to end the inning. And the one team you wonder, would they be interested in Cordero? The St. Louis Cardinals.
Let's visit that when we come back.
The Fox Sports Ohio Reds Fest presented by PNC. December 2nd and 3rd at the Duke Energy Convention Center in downtown. Don't miss your chance to see your Cincinnati Reds in it. I promise you, you'll have a great time. Whether you come down with you and your wife, you and your husband, bring the kids along, maybe some buddies just to come out and hang out for a night or two. I promise you, you're going to have a great time. Chris Welsh will be there. Grounded foul by Chris Heisey, who knocked in a run with a single to center in the first inning. Reds leading 2-0. You know, you always have one of the longest lines there at Reds Fest.
That's because they oftentimes pair me up with George Grand.
Very nice. I'm sure George will be back for Reds Fest, won't he?
I hope so. Of course, we'll have George joining us in Pittsburgh. in this upcoming series when the Reds go over there to play the Pirates. George has been around. You know, he came around about once a month to do a series. Worked a couple of series with Sean Casey. That was fun to listen to and watch. You will be undoubtedly at Reds Fest, I hope.
Well, no doubt about it. Or at least for one night.
Yeah, at least for one night, Joe.
I'm never able to hang around for that Saturday night deal for the big poker game.
That's a fun
night. Out
night.
of town Saturday more times than not, but yeah, I hear it's great. In the air, right field hit pretty well, but Shuck back to get it at the track, one away.
Ball really not carrying much today.
Well, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, you can chat with our Hall of Fame baseball writer Hal McCoy. Let's get connected with Fox Sports Ohio's Game Connect. It's presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. In the air for the second out of the inning off the bat of Bruce. Twice his flight out to Martinez.
You know, Tom, just as a follow-up to that closer conversation, one of the things that obviously Francisco Cordero must mull over is the number of closers that are going to be out there and available on the free agent market. And there are a bunch of them this year. You know, you're talking about Heath Bell, Matt Capps, Kyle Farnsworth, Ryan Madsen. Now, some of these guys have options by their team for next year. A lot of them will be picked up. I would imagine Madsen would be picked up. Jonathan Papelbon, K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez will be a free agent. So there's a number of them out there for teams who need a closer they can choose from. So that may limit the market for Coco Cordero and make it a little bit easier for the Reds to keep him.
Jam shot to the second baseman Downs in a 1-2-3 fourth for Wandy Rodriguez. Fifth inning around the corner, and the Reds lead 2-0. To glory Thursday night. Cold rain in Middletown. That'll be a national telecast, coast to coast. Brad Johansson and Dave Lapham right here on Fox Sports Ohio. That's underway at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Bronson Arroyo has faced the minimum. The only Astro to reach base reached on an Edgar Renteria error in the fourth inning. But the very next batter, Martinez, bounced into a double play. Reds lead 2-0. And Lee takes a fastball up 2-0. 30 pitches for Arroyo to get through 4 innings in this game. Jam shot, and that's the first hit.
Well, the Astros have really helped Bronson Arroyo out, but they come up there ready to swing the bat. That one comes right in on the thumbs of Carlos Lee, but he's still able to muscle it into the outfield.
Now the batter Matt Downs, and a slow breaking ball is inside. Downs lined out hard to Sapelt. His only at bat. Pretty impressive numbers with runners aboard right there for Downs, and of course a lot of that has been done in a pinch hitter's role, where he has been very good for Houston. We've talked through the first 2 games of this series at Downs. Pretty much guaranteed a job next year on this team. Maybe not an everyday job, but he can play just about anywhere. When you're not playing and you put up pinch hitting numbers like that, he'll be on a big league club.
Kind of like the Houston version of Chris Heisey. Can play all over. Of course, Heisey was a shortstop in college, so in a pressure situation, you could always stick him out there. Primarily an outfielder. Both of those have excelled big time this year in the pinch hitting role. When's the last time Carlos Lee swiped the bag?
Probably been a while.
Yeah. That's what he's thinking, looking over to Arroyo, saying, why are you throwing over here to me?
Well, he does have 4. I mean, it's not like he doesn't even think about it. He's attempted 7.
Sneak attack. Take that.
This will be a double play ball. Well, he ate up Matt Downs there. Take a look at our standings presented by Honda. Both Arizona and the Giants losing last night, and for San Francisco, time is slipping away. They do play 3 in Phoenix over the weekend. Atlanta and St. Louis both winning last night. So still a 2.5 game spread for the wild card.
Yeah, you got to figure, Tom, that those teams that are right on the cusp of being in the race, San Francisco, St. Louis, I'm thinking, man, there are some games that we played back in April and May, maybe June. And if it had just gone one other way, one bounce goes one way.
Off the glove of Bruce, here comes a runner, Johnson, to second base, and he is in there. That'll be a double. Well, I can't speak so much of the Giant season as you get a look. What happened out here to Bruce and Wright?
Went a long way to get it and just really didn't get there in time.
We're starting to talk about those 2 teams, and we see those teams in the National League West so infrequently, and the Reds really dominated the Giants this year. They played them a total of what, 7 times, beat them 5 out of the 7, including a sweep here. So you wonder how much of a real barometer you got of that Giants team. I think it's safe to say that they just can't hit very well. They have very, very good pitching, but in regard to the Cardinals, now you talk about a team that could find more than 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 10, 12 games this year that they look back on.
Oh, yeah.
They have more blown saves than any team in the league. And it started from the very beginning of the year when they still had Ryan Franklin as their closer. And they have continued up until recently here, where they've been lights out for the last 3 weeks. But they have continued to blow games virtually through every month this year.
So you're right. They may be one of those teams, whether they make the playoffs or not, will be in that free agent market for one of the closers that we were talking about.
Fly ball short right, and Bruce will tuck that one in his pocket. Couple of hits, man left, middle of the 5th. Reds lead 2-0. Report card on Dusty Baker. 18th year as a major league manager. Of course, his 4th with the Reds. 3-time manager of the year. Last night tied Earl Weaver for the 21st most managerial wins in the history of the game. Dusty and Tony La Russa are 2 of only 5 managers, actually 6, in major league history that have 300 or more wins with 3 different teams. Dusty doing it with the Giants, the Cubs, and now the Reds. And he'll be back and ready to roll after a little breather. In the wintertime, he'll be set to go in February of 2012.
Hey, Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu, inspired solutions, and better results. JTM.
We're in the bottom of the 5th inning where the Reds are in front of the Astros 2-0. Run scoring single by Heisey, scored Brandon Phillips in the 1st inning, and then in the 2nd, Miguel Cairo homered to the upper deck in left field. Reds Live will be coming your way on Friday night at 6:35 Eastern Time from PNC Park in Pittsburgh, PA. Reds will play night games Friday and Saturday in Pittsburgh and afternoon games Sunday before the final series of the year begins in New York Monday night. So what a total of 6 more Reds Live this year and 6 more chances to check out Tech Talk, Chris's checklist, among others. One out. Ray St. Clair Roofing, the proud title sponsor of Reds Live. And a great job by the entire gang the entire year. We thank so many on our home crew here last night. You know, it should be noted that we also want to thank all the game day staff here at the ballpark. There are so many hundreds of people that come here every day when the Reds are playing baseball to get this park ready to go for you, the fans, or to spend your hard-earned money to come here and watch a game and have the best environment you possibly can. Nice play in the hole that's short there by Barmas to get Mesoraco 2 away. I mean, not only the ushers, stadium security, the ticket takers, the vendors, the grounds crew, the different stations, the police department, fire department, medical staff here at the ballpark. They all just do a phenomenal job. I'm sure many of you saw a story about those young men that made a trek to every ballpark in America this summer and wrote about it on a national website. And they were asked at the end of it all what was their favorite ballpark experience of all the ballparks they went to, and they went to every single one of them this summer.
Thank you.
And they said right here at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
Wow, I did not know that.
Indeed. I think they were on a Today Show, and they were talking about it. Well, the rain falling lightly again, and we were told by John Gunn before this game ever got started that there was a chance we could have this going on. Declan Mullen all over it once again. Boy, it was pouring earlier this morning, and you just wondered, much like on Monday, how in the world are we playing? Well, here we are in the bottom of the 5th, and we have an official game. Should it come to that, because it's starting to rain a lot harder now. Arroyo draws a 2-out walk.
First walk of the day for Wandy.
And you wonder if the rain has anything to do with that. Did it ever bother you gripping the ball?
I think it bothers every pitcher out there. You know, it's not so much gripping the ball because you'll get a new baseball from the umpire anytime you want one. It's the mound and where you land. And when you land as a pitcher, you want your foot to hit and stop. And if it's wet out there, even if it moves just a fraction of an inch, it can throw you off. Your cleats get all clogged up with mud. Fortunately now in the big leagues you don't have to clean them yourself. Back in my day, of course, you did. They used to have little popsicle sticks. You put in your back pocket, step off the mound and clean your spikes. Now they have that little spike cleaner right behind the mound, right there at the bottom of your screen. Got one of those right at my front door.
Tapper, Johnson charging hard, and what a attempt anyway, and then his throw sails by Lee. The ball is still in play. They're going to hold Arroyo at third. That'll more than likely be an infield hit, a second infield hit in the game for Brandon, and a throwing error will advance him 90 feet.
Well, you knew something crazy was going to happen right there. Either Johnson was not going to be able to pick up the baseball because he couldn't get a grip on it, or he was going to throw it wild because it is wet. Comes charging hard, makes a nice effort right here. I mean, Carlos Lee is not going to get in the way of the runner going down the first baseline right here. Stick your glove arm across the line, and that's danger. I thought for a moment the ball went into the stands and back out, but no so.
Well, with the rain pouring down here, the catcher Tolles going out, a lengthy visit on the mound. Umpire saying, come on back here now.
Oh, yeah. Sam Holbrook wants to get it going.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds leading 2-0. And a breaking ball is off the inside corner.
Didn't ask me about Sam today, Tom.
How about Sam Holbrook?
Well, Sam, you know, he's from Kentucky.
Yes,
he lives right here. Has a master's degree from Eastern Kentucky, 10.5 years in the major leagues, and his number is 61.68.
Boy, it is really coming down. You wonder how much longer they're going to be. Tapper down the third, and Johnson with an accurate throw this time. We played 5. For those of you that haven't been with us this year, we'll ask Chris about that umpire number when we come back. Leaguer. Well, the Reds are going to give you that chance. In Goodyear, Arizona, February the 4th through the 11th. A 2012 Reds Fantasy Camp. For more information, visit Reds.com/fantasy camp. Chris, I know you're a big hit at the Fantasy Camp.
It's a good time down there. One of these years, we're going to get you down there, Tom Brenneman, put a uniform on, dress you like a big leaguer, throw you a little batting practice, get you to face Brad the Animal Leslie.
Well, I don't know about that part. The rest of it sounded really good till then. Because, you know, you former major leaguers can still rush it up there a little bit.
Well, he can.
Well, you can, too.
And
I mean, for a guy like me to come in there like all the other campers, I mean, you can rush it up there.
Is there kind of an edge between you and Brad Leslie for some reason?
Not at all. I just remember that guy throwing gas. I
Better
haven't seen
hope
him
not,
abandon.
anyway.
That's right.
He's one of these guys that keeps a list of those campers that really hack him off a little bit from year to year inside his hat. When he faces him, he checks his hat first. Should he walk him intentionally or just take care of it in one pitch?
Really? Count me out. I'll be buying for Brad every night.
You know, that does help.
Oh, and one to J.R. Tolles and a breaking ball, and somehow it missed.
You know, some of the best times down there are done by father-son guys who fathers and son come down and they play in that fantasy week for the last time, you know, maybe when their dad, you know, even if he's in his 70s. Fair ball.
Fair ball indeed up the left field line. So Tolles has the third Houston hit of the afternoon. The first two came in the last inning against Arroyo.
And I'm just wondering, maybe we could get you and your dad. Think he'd be amenable to putting a uniform on?
You know, I believe me, you know, I've been saying for the last 5 years since having the chance to come back here to my hometown that two things have to happen.
Someone will have to comp it, right?
I would pay for it if he'd go. He has to go to the fantasy camp, he being Marty Brenneman, and he has to put on a uniform to maybe do 4 or 5 shows worth of CBS Tech Talk with you during the season.
Absolutely.
Now, we tried to make that happen, what, 2 years ago, right?
That didn't work.
It didn't work. But, well, those are two things I'd love to see.
Well, you're not kidding. I'd have his picture in a Bread's uniform on my screensaver. Probably forever.
With the words, "How we looking?" Well, they let Rodriguez swing away. And he pops it up in a shallow center field to Chris Heisey, 1 out. Rodriguez is a pretty good hitter, but it's a 2-0 ball game here in the 6th inning. Rodriguez pitching a good game. He had a chance to get that runner down to third with nobody out in the inning. And now the runner's still standing at second with 1 out. Jordan Schaefer twice has flied out to Heisey in center. What a pickup by Votto. My, oh my.
Saved a run right there. Well, we saw him make a nice play last night, very similar to this, going to the line, going down on his knee to give himself a good perspective on it. A little sinker on the inner part of the plate. Schaefer hit it very hard, and there's Votto with his glove. Wilson Pickett.
Well, runner at third, 2 are out. Rain is virtually stopped once again. Going to be one of those days, as predicted. On again, off again. Two balls and no strikes on J.B. Shuck, who has flied to left and reached on the air by Renteria in the 4th inning. Tonight's Powerball jackpot up to $25 million if you haven't heard by now. Brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Play today. Throwing at 11 o'clock tonight. 2-1 the count on J.B. Shuck. Sinking liner, and Sapelt slides to get it. So the shutout still intact. A leadoff double, but the runner stranded at third. Now it's time for the Coors Light freeze can. Devin Mesoraco, a rocket into left field, and a nice play made by the left fielder J.D. Martinez. Our Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frost Brew. Coors Light. The Gallen staff hard at work on trying to dry things up around the pitcher's mound and the home plate areas. Reds lead 2-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and this is the final game of the year at Great American Ballpark. Everybody listening to one of the big hits from back in the 80s of the band Styx. You know, we talked about before the game got started, all of the Reds' entire office staff gathered on the field before the game to say goodbye to a lady who has worked for the Reds for 41 years. And what a wonderful lady she is. The Reds today say goodbye to Jenny Camp. Worked in the broadcast department for the organization 41 years. And just decided that it was time to enjoy her time with family and go do a lot of things she's been thinking about doing for many, many years. And I mean everybody, you can just tell by the hugs and the smiles, everybody loves Jenny Camp. And she will be missed. Like I remember when my dad came to work here 39 years ago. Jenny Camp was one of the first people that I met with the Reds organization. Man.
You know, she is so constant, too. Have you ever met Jenny Camp when she's had a bad day?
No.
No?
Never.
Always smiling, always helpful. What a gem. Gem of a lady.
Well, she barely ever takes any time off. You know, she has like however much time it is built up in vacation time. So she's going to get an early start to this retirement thing. She's going to get rolling with all that time she's got saved up. And get out of here quick.
Yeah, maybe you ought to take a page of her book on that taking time off thing.
Hey, what do you say, Joey?
Be a good lesson for you to learn, Tom.
For me to just call it quits in about July and not come back?
I mean, She's got a lot of time saved up in the time save bank, time off bank.
I just take mine when
you owe him right now.
Swinging a foul ball out of play. Boy. That's the thanks you get at the end of the year. Joey Votto swings and misses. Astros don't even throw the ball around the infield after a strikeout. You don't see that very often. Votto 0 for 3 in the game, has struck out twice, and now it's Heisey who knocked in a run with a single in the first inning.
Well, the Astros are heading home after this. They've got 4 with Colorado, 3 left at the very end of the year with the St. Louis Cardinals. They act like they've already got the bus warmed up, ready to go.
Of course, the next time the Reds will play in this ballpark will be Friday, April the 6th, Good Friday, when the newly named Florida Marlins become the Miami Marlins. And we understand they have already floated around a new logo. I got to tell you, and everybody, you know, it's an entirely subjective thing.
You mean Billy the Marlin is gone?
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying their new logo. Yeah, Billy the Marlin would be taken off of their logo.
Right,
the F
right.
with the Marlin sitting behind the letter F there, if you will, on the bill of their caps, in the front of their caps. But this new logo, man, I got to tell you, there are a lot of people that put a lot of hard work into that. So, you know, not taking a shot at them, but I got to tell you, not impressed.
No, you don't like it?
Not even a little bit. Do you like it?
No, at first look, no. It looks a little computer generated. Doesn't look warm.
Not at all.
Fuzzy.
Color combination, very odd.
Well, they've always had odd colors down there.
Yeah, but you know, there's ball 4. The teal and black thing, it does work.
Eventually.
I mean, they've had nice uniforms and through the years, and they've gone with a lot more black than they used to when they originally started. It was a lot more teal. But, you know, this new color combination, the red, white, and blue, you love it. But then they've mixed in yellow. I mean, it looks more like a soccer team logo. But maybe they're crazy about it in Miami, and good for them. We're going to try and put that up on the screen for you. We don't know if we're going to be able to do it because the Marlins have just, I don't know if they've released that logo or whether it got out and they want to see what the reaction is to it. We'll let you take a look at it if we can get it. Breaking ball in there, strike 1-1. Hey, one final note, by the way, about the Marty Brennaman Golf Classic. The Reds just announced a few moments ago, held out at Belterra Casino Resort and Spa on Sunday and Monday this week, raised $255,000. There's a weak fly ball in the left, and the ball continues to carry, and up against the wall making the catch is Martinez. That ball, on a day where we have not seen the ball carry at all, when it left the bat, it looked like another medium depth fly ball off the bat of Bruce, but it had some giddy up behind it.
Well, they put a lot into it. Jay Bruce did. Our Exmo look at that swing by Performance Honda. And you're right. Now, earlier in the game, the wind was blowing in a little bit from right field. They may have held that up, but right now the flags are pretty much limp.
Well, now Miguel Cairo homered. Well, there's nothing debatable about that home run in the second inning up in the upper deck. Cairo continues to add this year to a career high 8 home runs. So congratulations to all with the Reds Community Fund. And here's that Marlins logo. Now the red, white, and blue, but there's the yellow. Yeah. Looks like something the Denver Nuggets had about 20 years ago. What do you think? Are you waiting for it to grow on you?
You know, I'm trying to decipher it here, and I'm trying to picture it on a baseball uniform.
You know, I like the little fish thing there at the top.
I do like
very
the fish.
cool. Yeah,
I do
that's
like
very
the
cool.
fish. I'm just not so sure that I like the font of the M right there.
But where does the yellow come from?
I do like this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't know about the yellow. Sun over Miami.
Yeah.
In your case, seeing the sun coming up on your way home from South Beach. When you and your fraternity brothers get together down there.
No, you know, by the time that place was moving, I wasn't moving. Not anymore. One and two on Miguel Cairo.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Whether you like the logo or not doesn't really matter.
Yep.
The stadium that they are about to move into, from what we have seen, the artist rendition, those that have been down to see it, just say it is going to be spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Retractable roof will be guaranteed to play. Air conditioned for those folks that didn't want to sit out and swelter in that Miami heat. They got to do a whole lot better at the turnstiles.
Yeah, when you fly into Miami, if you fly into Fort Lauderdale, you won't see it. But if you fly into Miami, you fly right over top of that thing. And I mean, it is like a palace. Same site where the original Orange Bowl used to be. Inning over. Walk a man left. We go to the 7th. Reds lead 2-0.
By AT&T. Cincinnati Children's ranks 3rd in the nation on U.S. News and World Report's honor roll for Best Children's Hospitals 2011. By your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real.
Well, pleasure to be joined in the broadcast booth as we go to the 7th inning with the Reds in front 2-0. CEO of the Reds, General Managing Partner, Mr. Bob Castellini. How are you, young man?
I'm fine, Tom. How are you?
Doing very well. It's very kind of you to deliver us some goodies today.
Yeah.
It's the second time you've done this for us this summer.
Last day in the ballpark. You fellas have done a great job.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank our fans.
Isn't it amazing, Bob, we were talking earlier about, you start with a game day staff here around the ballpark. And I know you saw the story, the young guys went to every ballpark in America, all 32 ballparks. I think they concluded by going on either Good Morning America or something like that. And they said of all the 32 ballparks they went to, this was the best experience they had.
Yeah, they picked ours in Pittsburgh, didn't they?
It's got to make you proud, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. These folks that work in this ballpark really are dedicated to making the fan experience everything it could be. They really are. We're proud of them. We saw all the office staff out there today. This has been a different kind of a season. We had a lot of anticipation and expectation, and we didn't live up to it. Chris Welsh coined it for me. We're disappointed but not dejected, and we've got a lot to look forward to next year. And I just wanted to thank all the fans that show up here at the Great American Ballpark. They've been terrific. Our attendance is up, I think, about 8% this year, and I think if we were a contender for postseason these last 6 weeks, we would have had a heck of a lot more people here. I mean, I know we would have, and we are absolutely dedicated to make it happen next year.
Popped up, and Arroyo will give way to Joey Votto, who makes a catch. I got to ask you, Bob, it's one thing to be a businessman. You have been a businessman your entire professional life, ever going back to when you were a kid in the family business and everything. But more importantly, you have a great passion for this particular business. So when the year is over officially on Wednesday of next week, I mean, do you allow yourself to, do you need a little time to sort of take a breather before you start thinking about revving it back up again, looking forward to spring training?
Yeah, you do. You do relax a little bit for a week or two, but then it starts right back up again because you've got to get ready for next year. And this is a particularly important time for us to get ready for next year. What a catch. Wow.
He got it.
That's 2 nights in a row that young man has made that catch.
Terrific.
And that is a double play to end the inning.
That is unbelievable.
2 nights in a row, Dave Chappelle has really gone into the air to take away extra bases. Take a look at this. That'll get you fired up thinking about next year.
This is even better than last night's catch.
Reds will be sending up Miguel Cairo, Dave Chappelle, who just made that great play a moment ago, Devin Mesoraco, and Bob Castellini with us in the booth. You were just talking to Chris about so many of these young players to be not dejected, perhaps disappointed, but not dejected, as you and Chris were talking about in regard to this year and moving ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the youth factor out there that keeps us all excited, and I know the fans feel the same way. These kids are coming on. They're coming on.
You know, Bob, you've got some of these guys who you weren't sure about going into this year. I mean, we hadn't really seen a lot of them in the major leagues, like Yonder Alonso, for instance, Juan Francisco. I mean, they've shown themselves to be able to hit big league pitching.
Absolutely.
And they're just kind of pushing the door down, saying, here I am. And that is, it's hard to come by, but it really all does come down to pitching, doesn't it?
Yep. Pitching is paramount. There's no question about that. And that's been, you know, we've got glimpses of what can happen for us next year. I like the way Travis pitched last night. I'm liking the way Bronson pitched today. I think Johnny is going to continue to be our #1. Edison is dedicated. He's devoted. So we'll see what happens because the talent's there. And that could be one of the key factors for next year if he's successful on the mound.
Interesting to see what happens with Aroldis Chapman and his transition to a starter. Of course, he was a starter when he pitched for the Cuban national team.
Right.
So it shouldn't be fresh to him. I mean, it's just be something that he ought to regain. Maybe that experience in Arizona should help him.
Right. Our baseball people are really tuned into Aroldis, and they're going to do what's best for him. And we might see him play winter ball, we might not, but what is best for Aroldis is going to be the best for the team because he can be play a key role for us either as a bullpen stalwart or a starter.
Bob, before we let you get out of here with 2 men out in the inning, because I know there's so many people you want to see and have a chance to talk to today, but you know, some big events coming up in the offseason. Reds Fest, obviously. Reds Caravan, CincinnatiUSA.com. Those folks putting it out again. And, you know, Chris brought up the other night, and it's so true. It seems like ever since your group took over ownership at his club, whether it was a Johnny Bench night the other night with a statue or whatever it is, it seems like every event is just done so well. First class all the way. And I know we're all excited for Reds Fest already.
Yeah. The business side of this organization is really in high gear. They do a great job. They're very professional and they have fun. You know, they all have fun with each other. And yeah, thanks for saying that, Tom, because I feel the same way.
And of course, your son Phil has a lot to do with that.
He does. He certainly does.
He does a heck of a job.
He certainly does. Yeah.
Puts a smile on. It's nice to see you smiling. And thanks for the hot dog
and the fry.
Chris can handle the play. Why don't you stay and do the play-by-play with Chris, and I'll eat the hot dog. Are we still on? Good seeing you, Bob. Thanks for everything. God bless you this winter.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast, Miguel Cairo.
to the upper deck in left field. That came back in the second inning. Reds scored in the first, got that home run in the second, and those have been the only runs scored in the game by either team today. And well, it's nice to see Bronson Arroyo here as we go into the 8th inning, pitching undoubtedly his best game of this year. He has thrown 59 pitches to get through 7 innings.
Well, he's not pitched a shutout yet this year.
Nor a complete game.
Closest he came was the second start of the year. He threw 6 innings of 1 run, but it was unearned run in baseball. That was way back in April. He also pitched a real good game against the Florida Marlins down there. Went 8 innings of shutout ball, 6 hits he gave up in that ball game. But as far as pitch efficiency, you can't get a whole lot better than what he's done today.
Chris Johnson loops one into center field. That'll be a base hit. Well, time now for our Progressive text poll. Who will win the National League wild card? Text 1 for Atlanta, 2 for the Cardinals, 3 for the Giants. You can text 37664. Message and data rates to apply. What do you think, Chris? Does Atlanta hang on?
I think Atlanta hangs on. But I would not be surprised to see it go right down to the last couple of days of the year. Remember, the one thing that St. Louis Cardinals have going for them, if you want to call it going for them, they finished the season against this Astro team in Houston. And quite frankly, this Astro team, they've already lost 101 games. They've got the #1 draft pick wrapped up for next year, so they are by far the worst team in baseball. The only team close to them would be the Minnesota Twins. San Francisco's really got a ways to go because they've got 2 teams ahead of them. They need to collapse by both of them.
There's been a lot of people watching on satellite today out in the western part of the country. Of course, a lot of people just don't like St. Louis. So the Giants getting 14%. I got to tell you, I'm with you. I think Atlanta's going to hang on, but I am not going to be stunned because, the thing you got to remember, not only do the Cardinals play the Astros the final games of the year, they play the Cubs over the weekend. Another team. Big rivalry.
Where's that? Where are those games? Are they in Chicago?
I believe they are. So, the Cardinals will play their final 6 games of the year on the road. No. They're playing in St. Louis, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, so okay.
Cardinals are coming to St. Louis for the weekend. That one lined down the left field line, and it is a foul ball and a good thing. That would have tied it up. And Devin Mesoraco coming out to talk to Bronson. Just foul. But to wrap up that talk about the wild card, remember now, Atlanta finishes the year against Philadelphia. Ooh. Now, the Phillies are not playing well here at the end of the year. They were swept in a doubleheader yesterday by Washington. Now you can say, well, they got it wrapped up. Yeah, they do. And they have for quite a while. But, the question will always become about the integrity of the game. Does Philadelphia getting their starting rotation set for the postseason? Do they play the way you would hope they would play in a competitive situation? Haven't they earned that right to really play it however they want to play it?
Well, with 98 wins right now, Philadelphia pretty much has not only wrapped it up, but they've got home field advantage. Yes. So they don't have to play for that. Like maybe a week or 2 ago, they were concerned about the Brewers maybe trying to take home field advantage in that. But I don't think that you go out and you never intentionally not play your best baseball. It's just not natural for a ball player to do that. But the pressure in those games will certainly be on the Atlanta Braves.
Down the left field line, cut off by Chappelle, but not before another base hit.
Good
Going
play
first
by
and third is Johnson.
Yeah, good play by Chappelle right there. Not even to be tempted to throw that ball to third base to try to cut off the runner Johnson, but throw it to second, keep the double play in order, keep that tying run off of scoring position.
Brian Bogasevic going to come up and bat for Wandy Rodriguez. Rodriguez pitched a nice game here today.
Chappelle's played some nice defense. I mean, the catch that he made in the last inning, the catch he made last night, he robbed a double right there by going into the corner, getting that ball lickety split back into the infield. I'll tell you, the more I see him play, the more I like him. I'm not one of these guys that gets too excited about somebody you see in spring training over a couple of weeks, because the month of March can really be misleading. He's got some tools.
Wandy Rodriguez, 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Runners on the corners with 1 away, and Brian Bogasevic to batter. Rodriguez pitched well, but right now on the short end of a 2-0 game. And there is action for the first time today in the Reds bullpen. Breaking ball in there, strike 2-1.
Watch as Jim Day visits Cincinnati USA's must-see attractions. Where in Cincinnati, USA is Jim Day? Well, tune to Fox Sports Ohio, and we'll let you know.
First jam of the afternoon for Bronson Arroyo. They're on the corners in a 2-0 ball game, and it's 2-1 on Bogasevic. Ran a fastball in on his hand. You saw Wandy Rodriguez in the dugout. Of course, his next start will be against the Cardinals. Boy, and where will they be in the wild card standings by then? That'll be on Monday night. '72nd pitch of the game for Arroyo. Has not walked a batter all day, nor has he fanned a batter today. Did not allow a hit in the first 4 innings. He's now allowed 6 hits in the last 3 1/3. And the rain is starting to fall, and Mesoraco to the mound. Right-hander Sam LeCure, the left-hander Aroldis Chapman getting ready in the Reds bullpen. And a good time for Arroyo to get that first strikeout of the day.
Remember a couple of years ago when Bronson Arroyo used to pitch north and south a lot more than he does right now? It used to be like 5 or 6 times a game you would see Ryan Hannigan put that sign down for a fastball, flip his thumb up and say, I want it around neck high. It works a lot of times against left-handers that think that they see that ball so well, and he just blew that ball right by at 87 by Bogasevic.
Now Jordan Schaefer, the batter, with 2 on and 2 out. Jordan Schaefer, runners at first and third, and that just missed. Looked pretty good from here. 2-0. 2-1 to Jordan Schaefer. And a fastball misses again. Dusty has to be contemplating right now. Yes, it's a very low pitch count for Arroyo, but he has given up the 6 hits in the last 3 2/3 innings. And you're in a 2-0 ball game as it's fouled away 3-2. Should Schaefer reach? And of course Bronson trying to put him away right here and right now.
Well, I think the fact that you have J.B. Shuck on deck, Tom, a left-hander, if Bronson Arroyo loses Jordan Schaefer right here, walks him, gives up a hit, I think he'll be out of the ball game, and you're going to see Bill Bray in here if that's who's warming up, or at least the lefty.
Hitting over, fouled it. First 2 strikeouts on the afternoon for Arroyo come to the final 2 batters of the 8th inning to maintain this 2-0 lead. Play of the game. That play made by Dave Chappelle. Boy, what a big one it was in the 7th inning. High into the air to snatch it away. Oh, what a nice play.
What a nice double play.
Yep. 20,875 here this afternoon for the home finale. And the Reds will wrap up their season total at 2.213 million. 2,213,498. Of course, there was a lot of talk when the season began. And you heard Bob Castellini a moment ago. Reds were hoping this team would get off to a great start after the season ticket sales were significantly higher than they were last year based on what happened in 2010. And they were hoping this team would be where it was a year ago, and Chris maybe be knocking on that 3 million total.
Well, that's the idea. Obviously, in this market, Tom, attendance is so important to the payroll. And, you know, the Castellini family and the existing group right now put all that money that they get in right back into the ball club. And I can't see that payroll going down from this year to next. Got Joey Votto wrapped up.
David Carpenter taking over for Rodriguez. But, you know, quite frankly, I'd be surprised at the same time to see it go up much. I mean, there are going to be some guys who are going to make more money because of arbitration and so forth. But 2.2 is still 2.2. I mean, it's better than some. But there are many others that are a lot better.
Yeah, but remember, the guys that the Reds have signed to long-term deals are going to get bumped every year. So next year they'll make more money than they did this year. Reds
all-time season attendance record was set by the Big Red Machine of 1976. And they never drew 3 million. The all-time season attendance record is almost 2.7 million. Into center field, and Brandon Phillips has his third hit of the game. Reds are about the middle of the pack this year as far as their season attendance is concerned. They'll be a little less than right in the middle. Well, you've got the normal list of suspects that are up there. I think no one is ever surprised by Philadelphia. Now the Giants coming off a World Series year. Cubs, Cardinals, Colorado, the Dodgers certainly, although their numbers are way down. Atlanta up, and Milwaukee, I think, is the one that you always sort of use as a pretty fair comparison between the franchises. Certainly the sizes of the cities, pretty much a wash. St. Louis and Cincinnati are pretty much a wash, but they've been winning in St. Louis for a long time. Good bunt by Renteria will advance a runner.
Well, I think the one advantage that the Milwaukee Brewers have, Tom, is that roof that they have on their stadium.
I agree.
I mean, there are so many days early in April and in May until school is out that it's cold here, it's rainy. Sometimes you're not sure if the game's going to be played or if it's going to be started on time. Got to get your kids home from school, and when you've got a roof like they do in Milwaukee, when you leave the house and that game's going to start at 7 o'clock. Rain or shine.
Well, the Astros are going to intentionally walk Joey Votto, despite the fact that he only has one hit in the series and is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts today, but obviously with a base open and a right-handed batter on deck. This is the move every manager in the game makes.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, if you're Brad Mills, this is a no-brainer. I think he knows that if this Astro team falls down by any more than they are right now, down 2-0, it's going to be an awfully big hole to climb out of in life.
Of course, the Astros had a chance to make it a 2-1 ball game back in that 5th inning. Well, I beg your pardon, in the 6th inning. It's when they had a leadoff double, and Brad Mills allowed his pitcher to swing the bat rather than bunt him down to third. Now, there's no guarantee he would have gotten him down to third. But if he did, you certainly like your chances of this being a 2-1 game right now. Over in the American League, they're in the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium, where Tampa Bay looked like they were going to lose ground in the wild card until Jonathan Papelbon blew his first save chance in his last 26 outings.
4.5 months.
So that remains extremely tight for the American League wild card. Still 2 games a raise behind Boston. Boston will play tonight at home against Baltimore. We mentioned in the 5th inning, Tampa Bay leading the Yankees 2-1.
That's James Shields on the mound for the Rays this afternoon.
Two on, 1 out for IZ. Knocked in the game's first run with a single to center. Ball 1. One and 1 to count on Heisey with 2 on and 1 out. And he ran a 96-mile-per-hour fastball down under his hands.
Good spot right there. Chris Heisey, we've seen him hit that high pitch on the inner part of the plate as far as anybody in the league. That's a tough one to put the barrel on right there.
Heisey out of there on a called third strike, 2 out.
Fox Tracks likes it.
Yeah, that guy's got it's a good looking fastball, and obviously the final 2 strikes in that bat, very well located fastballs. Brought up the other night when this guy came in, he split the year between Double-A, where he had 14 saves and an ERA at 1.9. Then got bumped up to Triple-A, where he was named a Pacific Coast League All-Star. Got his first major league win Monday night.
Come a long way from Morgantown, West Virginia.
Guy throws some serious gas up there. Every fastball coming out of his hand, 95, 96.
With a little bit of run.
That one at 94, too low to Jay Bruce.
Or hair, like we say it.
It's only one outing, and obviously the guy has given up an infield hit. He's intentionally walked to bat it. You don't see many young guys coming up with command out of the bullpen that we've seen in 2 nights from this guy Carpenter. Pretty impressive. They appeal, and he didn't go around. Now, whether or not he has a secondary pitch to get anybody out or not, Chris, I don't know. You have a good eye for that.
Yeah, that was a slider right there. Looked pretty good.
Two and one to Jay Bruce. That one sailed away. 3-1.
Well, he's thrown mostly fastballs just about to everybody out there. So 3-1. Jay Bruce has got to be thinking, I'm getting a heater. Probably is going to try to locate it on the outer part of the plate. Don't try to do too much with it. Just try to find that left center field gap. Keep your shoulder in there and go with it.
It's nice that bat boy after coming out to get that ball fouled back to the screen. Most darling little girl down there in the front row, and he came right over and handed her that baseball. 3-2. Foul out of play.
Now that's going to be argued by Brad Mills, saying, well, what did I do right there? You can't balk to second base unless you start your motion to a base and then go to home, or you drop the baseball while you're in contact with the pitching rubber. Brad Mills is going to get clarification. What did he do here? Well, it looked like he stepped a little bit towards home and then turned around to go to second base. You got to swing that left foot all the way around to go towards second here. See where he puts that foot down. Actually stepped towards third, which is an unoccupied base. That would be a violation.
And it's ball 4 down low, and Carpenter doing some work around that mat. It looked like he lost his footing when he turned that one loose.
Well, if you're David Carpenter, you're probably not all that worked up about walking Jay Bruce on a 3-2 count. Got a right-hander in here right now to deal with. Your slider may be a little more effective against Cairo than it would be against Jay Bruce. But Cairo on the day has a home run.
One of those 2 career grand slams came earlier this season for Cairo. First pitch swinging, got a fastball and fouled it back. Reds 2, Astros nothing. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. .95 gas up and away. Cairo chases it, and he's behind 0-2. And this ought to do it. Into right. So the Reds leave them loaded. Astros come to bat, top of the order in the 9th inning with the Reds leading 2-0. Miguel Cairo provides our Nissan drive of the game. Career high 8th home run for Miguel. Put the Reds up 2-0, and that's where we stand as Houston's coming up here in the 9th inning. Arroyo with a chance for a complete game shutout. He has not had a complete game. Obviously has not had a shutout this year. Giannis taking over at shortstop. 1-1 to J.B. Shuck. And a fastball is up and in.
Tom, I want to give a shout out to a former Reds pitcher. When he can, he coaches in the Red Sox organization now, but he watches Reds game after his minor league season's over. Dave Tomlin.
Oh, yeah.
A left-handed pitcher that pitched for the Reds in 72 and 73. Then again later on in 78, 9, and in 1980. Good guy. He's down on the farm somewhere, I imagine, down near Maysville.
Hope he's doing well. It's a big batter here for Arroyo. He's getting a chance to finish what he started, and he probably has one batter here in the ninth. Swinging a foul ball back out of play.
Actually, Dave Tomlin is over there in Adams County. Isn't that somewhere down around the Athens area?
It's on your way that way.
Okay.
Yep, going east. Right along the James Rhodes Appalachian Highway. Old Highway 32. Swinging a foul ball back out of play. They'll get you down there. You have that foot on the pedal a little bit now. They'll find you in Adams County.
Well, you've always got your foot on the pedal.
There in Jackson County.
They get you
gotta be
really?
very careful when you're going through there. High fly ball into right field. And Arroyo gets a first out here in the ninth. You can stay connected with the Reds all during the winter with the Reds social media clubhouse at Reds.com. An inside look at the Reds. Jamie Ramsey, Better Off Red, very popular blog, I'm told, by those that read it. Plus, you can follow Brandon Phillips, Mike Leake, and so many, many more. Reds.com/connect to start today.
A lot of Bronson Arroyo fans watching today. I just got a text from one of his major fans, the sax man, Elon Trotman. He came out here and did God Bless America. Yep. About a month ago, did a great job. Elon, a very talented musician, lives back in the Boston area. Good to hear from him.
To the count, and it's in the air. Left center, playable for Heisey, and Arroyo and out away from a complete game shutout. Arroyo in his career has 13 complete games, 6 complete game. Let's try that again. In his major league career, I beg your pardon, he has 11 complete games, 3 complete game shutouts. 0-1 to Carlos Lee. Well, and you hope this will be a foreshadowing of what we'll see from Arroyo next year. He has been so consistent, having won 15 or more games in each of the last 3 years. He won't get there this year, but he will finish the home schedule with a complete game, 6-hit shutout.
Nice going, Bronson.
Congratulations, Bronson Arroyo. Win number 9. And the Reds finished their home schedule in 2011 with a 2-0 win over the Houston Astros on this September the 21st, 2011. We'll be back to tie a ribbon around this one on Fox Sports Ohio.